Hello everyone, this is Paula, and today we are starting, as you can see, a new journal. Now I have started this journal because there's so much to do on a journal. I can't ever do it on camera. I'm lucky to get it done. So this is a lot of the ephemera, and I thought you could come along with me today. Some of it has already been folded and made, and some of it has not. A lot of it has not. But first today, I'll show you the book, and then all I've done is I have bound the book. I did slow stitch the book on an old piece of quilt, and I didn't slow stitch the whole thing, but a large percent of it, okay? And then I stitched an old quilt heart on here and lots of different pieces of doilies and lace. And there's a charm on it, and I bound it, and there's like, I want to say 100 and something pages front and back. Now, I also added pockets. I'm going to move this so I can show you. So this is the journal. It is a very old piece of quilt, okay? You can see here where the old quilt was. I'll actually open it out so you can see. This is the old quilt, okay? And it was, you can see that this is the corner piece of a quilt at some point, okay? I came in and I added this blue and yellow fabric and slow stitched those on. And then I did this blanket stitch around two of the sides and did some special cross stitching down the inside of this seam. And then I added some yo-yos in the back. And then in the front here is this quilted heart. And I blanket stitched it on. Here's a piece of a doily right here behind this butterfly on a bulb pin. And then you can see different pieces of doilies all the way hanging out around the sides. Now, on the inside, this is a collection, and I believe it's chapter 1 papers. You'll just have to check it out because there's no way I can keep track of all of them. I've got too many. But it is an embroidery kit. So this is the front page, and so most of this will look embroidered or cross-stitched or something like that. And then you'll have other random pages in here too. So I'm going to be putting lace on some of these pages. You can see that we have a lace pocket. I did line the inside simply because I felt like it was, even though I had washed them and cleaned it and everything, I hand washed it and scrubbed it really good and cleaned it. And you can see this old lace back here and in the front for pockets. I lined it with a muslin, tea-stained muslin, because it just seemed grungy, you know, from being old. And it had a few little snagged areas but it looks really nice now. And it has its own unique shape, which is what I love about it, because it's, you know, there's not total perfection there. But you can see that I did all the stitching and so forth. And so this is what we're going to work on. Now, we're going to make the ephemera. We're not going to put it in today. So I'm going to set this to the side. I have a couple different things I want to show you that we're going to put in the book. And a couple of them I saw Tina over at Shabba Dabba Doodah make. And this is one of them. And I'm going to show you how to make it the best of my ability. In other words, I've only made it 3 times practicing, okay? So this is the one, you know, that I wanted to show you before we did anything else. So here it is. It's a floating pocket, or you can secure it into your book and just let it be a pocket that just is glued in. So this is an 8 by 8.5 and 11, I believe. But I cut my paper let me think. No, I didn't cut it at all. I left it. This is some paper, wallpaper from Tailor-Made Journals. And I have a lot of her wallpapers, and if you don't, I recommend them. I'll link her below if all goes like it should. And you start off by just folding it in half. I'm going to set this sheet aside for now. Please ignore my awful table, but that's life as it is when you're a crafter. I can't handle the pads, drive me nuts. They move all the time, and so I just have a tendency to throw them to the curb when I can't take it anymore. And if I need to cover up my dirty table, I will cover up my dirty table. Okay, now, so I'm going to fold this in half completely. And now I got my table wet, so let's lay this there. Let's see. So you're going to fold it in half, and then you're going to open it out like this, okay? And we want to have 3 sections, okay? So I did 3 5/8 in each square, and this is how I did it. I just did 3 5/8. Let me find it here. So I just took my ruler and counted out 3 5/8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. And then I just marked it with my pencil. Okay. And then I did that again from the other side. I just, you know, did it from both sides just to make it easier. And it might be off a little, and you just have to play with it. And, yeah. That way you'll know exactly where to fold. Okay, so we're going to take this and fold it in, just like on that line that we just did. And you want to line it up, and it will come up to this one, just slightly less than the first line. And you're just going to crease it here. Then you're going to fold this one over and take it over as far as you can. You might be a little short. If you want to rearrange and make it perfect, you can. I've been not worrying about it that much, honestly. I'm going to put the side I like the best on the outside. So there we go. And this is what you've got to start with, okay? Now you're going to open it back out. And you're going to fold in on all 4 corners. Not quite folding onto the line, just shy of the line. Okay, and this is the line right here. So you're just going to go shy of the line. It's not going to go all the way down here. Okay, and you want to line this one up with the other one. Just do the very same thing, just shy of the line. And they should be pretty close to the same. Again, you know, I don't worry about it too much. I just get it as straight as I can. If I spend too much time on that sort of thing, we'd never get to move on, right? And it is, by the way, a junk journal that we're working on. Okay, and now we're going to do this one. This is how quick these little pockets go. And I don't know who originated with these pockets, who came up with them. I have no idea, but they're fun. So then you're going to fold it in. Okay, just like this, and this is what you're going to have. Okay, now I'm sure if you can line these up the best you can, the better you would be. Okay, but I personally don't care about that sort of thing. So you're going to fold in if you want the first flap in on the left or first flap in on the right. It's up to you. So I'm going to look here and see what gives me the best design. I like this better compared to this. So you're going to take this one on the right, and you're going to open up this one, and you're going to tuck it in as best you can and get it as straight as you can. Now you're going to have this whole thing going on here. And if you do, that just means your pocket measurements might be off a little, which I'm sure mine are. But what I have been doing, instead of just trying to refigure, I just trim that one little one that I tuck inside at the end off a little bit. And I'm going to fold it in. And then you're going to hit this great perfect little pocket. Now, I go right here with my, whoops, goodness, with my 1-inch punch. And you have 2 layers right here. You're not going to glue those together because that can be a pocket, and you can leave a pocket in the back if you glue it down. And then you've got all these other pockets. So I'm just going to go inside right here and lay this down. Center up my, I usually just center it up with this little triangle right here. Center it up. Make sure it's even from side to side. And then look and see where the arrow is and back off of it some. And do your half moon. And there you got it. Now this would be the point that you could ink. Okay, I'm not going to worry with it on this demo. But you could ink here. And if you needed to cut this thing here on the side shorter, you could. I did not glue this down. I thought it'd make it easier to get things in. But you do go underneath because you don't want this stuff falling through, right? You do go underneath and glue all of that together. So we're just going to go right here with your glitter glue or your Fabri-Tac or whatever it is you're using. Okay. There we go. Just make sure that seals down good before you use it. Now, and now you could just fill it with all kinds of wonderful. And you have these cute little pockets. And so I picked a couple floral papers like this from tailor-made journals, and that I thought would go with this digital and the idea I have for my journal. So this is all glued, and then I just inked around it with Victorian velvet from the Distressed Ink. Okay, so I decided I'm not going to fill every bit of the pockets at this moment. But once it's in the book, I'll know exactly what I want to put. But I am going to decorate it. And I had made a bunch of clusters. You know, I think we've all gone through the phase of making clusters, and they're a great thing to do. And I need to do it again because I'm getting very low. And I decided to put the cluster on the outside. And so I'm just going to glue that down right there on the front. Now you got to keep in mind that when you use your clusters on the front, it's going to cover up any image you might have there. And that's okay with me. I'm not trying to, you know, get this perfect image off of the paper necessarily. I just like the colors to match. And there's actually no blue in this paper that I'm using in the background, but this journal is pretty much pink and blue, pink and teal, however you want to do it. Okay, and then we've got these little birds, and I zigzagged everything together and put a little butterfly on there. And then I had some leftover trim. You just want to find which side's the correct side and put it on. I don't know, but we're going to find out. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to open up this middle section. And I'm going to go straight along that line up to here. Okay, because this is where you want to put your... And you don't want to go too far down unless your ribbon is long enough to go all the way down. And I don't know that mine is. I just kind of use scraps. And now you're going to decorate. Now you can put your ribbon down this way, and you want to pull it up to the corner for sure. And pay attention to whether or not your glue went too far down, because if it did, then naturally we're going to have to get that glue off down in there. And remember, at first, you know, this could glue close, so you want to put something in between that maybe, see, it's already wanting to stick on me down in here. I don't know what that is. Some of my little half moon punches are down inside there. No telling what I collect down there. And yes, I went just slightly past. So I'm going to put something, I'm going to make sure I get any excess glue down in here off. And then I'm going to get a piece of vellum or something. Let me grab it. I know I've got some over here somewhere. To let, you know, the glue kind of dry onto to keep it from sticking to that part. Turn it over and trim your lace. And if you feel like your lace needs more glue, go do it. I mean, that's perfect. And I'm going to show you what we've got here. Real quick, I'll take this vellum out. So here's one of the journaling cards from the kits. There's several different ones. So I'm going to put this one in, let's say the middle pocket, okay? Right here. You can pile up tags in here and over in the sides. I mean, you've got all kinds of space to do whatever you want. But we will be putting tags in here too as well. But right now, we're going to do the vellum so it doesn't stick. We're going to decorate one more, and then we're going to, there is some yellow in the book too. There's a little bit of everything, but primarily the colors are what I told you a minute ago. So we're going to glue another butterfly that's on some pattern with blue. I decided to mix this up and do blue and yellow. And I like those two colors together. So you just want to get around the edges because, everything's kind of lifted up on the corners. I need to have a set down time where I just make these. I like to do it when I watch television. But right now I'm slow stitching every time I sit down to watch television. Because I want to do the slow stitch books. They just look so much better. And I think people are happier with those than they are just the regular books all the time. Okay. And I know people love the little golden books. I haven't made one since Christmas. I will try to get around to making one of those. They're so cute. And they are what makes journaling different. So, yeah. Looking here to see how far down. I'm going to put my glue for my ribbon or my lace. My trim. And I'm just going to come up here, go down a little bit, go back down. Yeah. I got a little bit too much glue probably. But I'm going to go down there and start on that end first. And try to get it as straight as I can without getting it all over me. Bring this out where it needs to go. You want it to cover that corner. And then just make sure it's straight all the way down. Now you could cover the whole thing with lace if you wanted to. Any part of it you want with lace. And then you want to make sure you just have it where it won't glue your pocket closed. And so they decorate really fast. You can really knock these out if you wanted to make a ton of them. I'm looking for another piece of vellum, which I knew I had somewhere. And so we're going to put this yellow vase in here as one of the tags, this journaling card. And put it right here for now. And then this is what we've got. Quickly. See how quickly that was? And even folding them is super quick. I feel like I plan on getting several made up so I don't have to do it every single time and stop and think, what I need for this one versus that one and so forth. Okay, so now, let me move that out of the way to dry. The next thing I want us to do is I bought a die cut that I thought was really cool for journalers, or for journaler makers, junk journal makers. We are always trying to design new things, and that's what makes what we do fun, right? It's just bouncing off of each other's ideas, and I just love it. So I'm going to get this and bring it over. Now, I actually bought 2 die cuts. And let me see if I've got them close by so I can show them. They're not in their packages because once you open them, they're opened, okay? They're by Essentials. Just cutting and embossing dies, okay? This makes like a little trifold. And it's cute because it makes different kinds of things to go in the pockets. And this makes the other one, which is coming apart here. This is by the same company. No, wait a minute. It's by Studio Light. Favorites is what it's called. The other one is by Studio Light as well, and it's called Essentials. Okay? So, I'm going to show you the one I just showed you just now. This is the Favorites, and it is a double pocket, and it's a die cut that cuts it out just like this. And I thought it was worth the investment to do it as a floating pocket. I just thought, this is genius. I'm gonna buy these. And it has the folded out tabs, so your pockets are bigger, okay? If you wanted to create something like this by yourself, you could easily do it by just putting it on a piece of paper and making you a pattern, right? The thing about die cutting, I love die cutting. It's just that if it has a lot of pieces, that's what takes you a while, because they give you one die to cut 10 of whatever. So there you go. And so I am using Victoria Velvet on anything on this particular journal, because it's light and it's not brutal, you know, the best we can get it to not be, I'll put it that way. And I'm trying to just hit it lightly, you know. And so on the first one I made, I did not ink it before I glued it, and I think it would have been much easier. So that's why I'm doing it here. This one is nice because it has that stitching around the pockets, and it has a cute design. And it also makes the cards that will be in the pockets. But, mind you, you do not have to use those because, you know, you can do your own thing. You can just put some little T cards in there or just cut something to fit. And that's why I said it would be easy to mimic this. I haven't made my own pattern out of this yet. And I see I just got a little bit too much. A lot too much, probably. Because I'm talking and doing it at the same time. Are you guys the same way? Okay, so that is ready. I'm not going to worry about doing the cards right now because I wanted to show you how this works. So you basically put your glue on your pocket. And I would do the lower pocket first. And you just put it on the fold line just like you would if you were making an envelope or a pocket out of a kit. Okay, now you've got it on both sides here, and then you're going to line it up with the very bottom of the pocket, and just give it a minute to attach, because glitter glue, you know, doesn't glue quite as fast as, well, it glows. It actually, that's the opposite. I'm sorry, it does glue much faster than Fabri-Tac. So you want to line it up there so it'll be straight. And then we're going to add some to this pocket. Now, before you start putting things into the pockets, I would make sure this dries, because you can glue your items down otherwise. Now, and then you want to align this up and make sure it's nice and straight. And I really did boob it up by getting the ink all wrong here. It's a new ink pad, and that should have been my first clue, right? But I'm going to show you the one I did already that's in blue. Okay, so this is the one I'll use in the kit since it's, you know, got what it needs in here. And I just tied some seam binding lace trim right there and added a couple little squares that I used that look like stamps that I used from the kit. And here is that page I showed you. And it has a nice matting, I mean, in the background. Now, this was one of the cards that came in the kit, or two of the cards that came in the kit. And instead of cutting out just a solid piece of white, which is what it would give you a die for, I took the die and put it onto my little journaling cards, and it cut them out in this shape. But you don't have to do that. And then here's the pink background. Isn't that pretty? I love this color pink. So I'm not going to put those together since we kind of messed up this pocket, but I think you get the idea. Mostly because I've got other things to show you. And I like to decorate these pockets so it gives them a little bit more pizzazz. Now, this can be a floating pocket, or it can be a, I think it was meant to be like a, and I may be wrong, maybe like a gift card pocket or something, because there's kind of a crease here. I think you could actually, I don't know. Don't ask me when it comes to that. But you could use it for that as well. That's for sure. Okay, so project number 2 is complete, and that's going to go in this journal. Okay, now I'm going to put this aside and let it be my example since I kind of screwed up on that. And so the next thing we're going to do is this other die set, which is called Essentials by that same company, Studio Light. Okay, now I'm going to set these tags to the side. These are tags that I cut out and so forth. Now, I did cut out the pattern that comes with the die set. Now, the only difference in this pattern and my pattern is I don't have the tabs, okay? But they would be easy enough to add, okay? And these come cut out like that. They don't come cut out like that when I make it, okay? Now, I'm going to show you one that I made as soon as I show you how this one looks. This one turns out cute, but because I'm using cardstock in this particular incident, everything's glued down. So you just fold two side tabs in, glue them down, and this has to be folded like a accordion. You do have to score at the bottom right here to get this fold for this little pocket. And you decide what you want on the front, what you want on the back. I've been using lighter weight paper to make my own, like this one, for instance, because I just like the results. Now, this one, I cut out I'm going to read you my sizes. I took a 12 by 12 piece of paper that was white on one side and had like a medium. It's not medium to light. You want light to medium. You don't want medium to heavy. Okay? You don't have to have both sides. If you do, that's a plus. I just made sure this showed in the front instead of in the back. You know, I didn't want it to be like this and then fold up. I wanted it to be like this and then fold up just like that once we score it. Okay? You definitely need to use your bone folder on this also. Okay, so this is the one done, and this is the little mat that comes with the die cut. You get one, and you have to cut 4. Okay, and it's already punched out too, but it's not that hard to punch your own. I know you guys realize that, and then they're just glued on right here. All right, that's that. Now, this die does, one of the awesome things about this die is it does give you the little journaling cards. This would be great for lots of things, but it would especially be great for, like if you were a grandma and you wanted to send, or you were a grandma and you would want to receive something like this from your daughter or daughter-in-law from, you know, showing new pictures of the baby or whatever. And there's 4 different shapes. Like this is the oval. And then it cuts the opposite of the oval for the inside. So you got to remember and know which color to change out to get what the effects that you want from that. And then it fits right here. You could add a picture. Or you can add a journaling card depending on what you're doing with it, okay? Here's one that just has the corners done. And again, you got to get it in the right color. I had to recut all of these scallop ones because I had them flipped around. Here's a ticket. Isn't that fun? Put the ticket right here. And then this one just has a tag with the decorative top. And you could punch a hole if you wanted, or just put a picture there. You could even die cut your picture with this inside shape and put your picture straight on here in place of putting the white paper or cutting out a small little picture to fit in there. Actually use the die to cut out your picture. But just know you can mess up. Practice is what I say. Practice first. So then after you're, I'm going to close my glue, excuse me. Pardon me, I've got my throat to clear. This is how it turns out. It's accordion folded. Let me get a drink. I got all choked up there. So when you're done, it looks like this. Now, it doesn't give you anything to decorate the outside. But if you wanted to cut out some things just a little bit smaller than this section to mat, that would be great too. So I'm going to set this aside because I think it's too bulky for the inside of my book, because you can see how thick it is. I would decorate the front for sure and tie something here or clip something here to keep it closed. Now, this is the one that I have here. I scored at 1 1/2, I believe, from the bottom. What I ended up cutting for this rectangle was from a 12 by 12 paper, cut into a 5 3/4 by 10 5/8. So this is 5 3/4 by 10 5/8. Okay, you're going to fold in half with the wrong sides together. So this is the right side. We're going to flip it over. We're going to fold it in half. Okay, and you're going to score everything real good with your score bone folder. And then you're going to want to fold back on it. So you want to fold back on itself like this, with the right sides together. Okay, now I would be taking this and really creasing everything as I go, because you know you want it to be nice. I'm going to flip it over, turn it back on itself again. Prior to all of this, we scored this bottom pocket on the long side. Okay, you can see right here. I'm going to show you how we did that. So before we folded it, my instructions are backwards, but so before you do the folding that we just did, you want to score right here on the bottom on the long ways at 1 1/2 inches, and then you fold up with the right sides together. So you're going to go like this. You're going to fold the right sides together, and you're going to take your bone folder and crease that out. Now, if you wanted to cut this longer and be able to have the little thing here at the end to fold under to make the little pockets bigger, you could. But I don't want them bigger because stuff falls out. So I just took them at this point, not at this point, but in a bit, and just glued inside here and in here. You don't glue in between any of the others. And then you're going to cut out, I'm going to show you, you want to do like your print or a polka dot or a stripe or something floral. And then you want to do more like a solid to do everything else on here. So I cut out these little mats that go on each of these pockets to cover the white. I cut those at 1 1/4 by 2 1/4. And I glue these down. And I got those too short, just so you know, on this particular one. I did get them too short, but I'm just using it for demo purposes. And then you do all 4. And I must have dropped one. Oh, there it is. Make sure everything's in the upright position. And you can see here that I got these a little short. And then you glue those down. Then you take your punch before you glue the sides down and go in here after these are glued down and do your hole punch. Okay? And then you're going to end up with that same pocket that looks like this. as far as the pockets go. Okay, and you want to ink each thing as you go along if you want it inked at all. Okay, so I'm not going to glue this net down because of time. But now you can cut out some little cards that fit in here perfectly. Okay, and you can round the corners. You can do a design on the corners or just do the top two. However you want to do it. You could add a mat if you wanted, but, you know, da-da-da-da. Now, what I did is pretend we've already got our pockets all filled, our mats all down, this side's glued down, and we're going to pull the center forward, fold in like this, make sure everything is really down. I decide I want to decorate the back because I don't like it white. And again, I cut these too small. But I'm going to show you one I did much better on. And so you just lay that across all four, and you've got those decorated too. Simple, right? You could take some pre-printed tags and go ahead and make those fit in there. And that's what I did with my particular one. Now I'm going to show you the two I did. This is the one that I made from the die cut. Okay, I tied a bow. It's a vintage ribbon. And here is the embroidery on that scalloped shape. Okay, I just decorated the front. I didn't do the backs. Now, I put floral here. So we're going to see how much bigger it is sticking up. Okay, we're going to roll it out just like this. And it's super cute. I'm not going to lie. Super, super cute. And you just can do it with the mats and cards that come with it. Or you can come back and add in some tags and decorate however you want. Okay, just make sure they're the size that fits in the pocket and aren't too wide so that you can't get your pocket folded. Okay, now there's that, and then you have to tie this back. Okay, now the one I decided to do is like the one I showed you just a second ago. I tied this little stretchy pink stuff, a little ribbon around it. I'm going to slide that off for now. And you're going to see that it is too bulky, but not like this, okay? That was the thing I was disappointed about when I bought it. I'm definitely going to use it, but I'm going to use it on lighter weight paper, okay? And I can do my own thing, or I can die cut. I can cut my own out much faster than die cutting it, is what I'm telling you. So if you want to run out and get one, that's great and everything. But I feel like it's not necessary to buy it. That's just my opinion. Okay, so we're back to this one. I want to show you. I did do a little design cut around each piece of paper that decorated the outside. This is the front. This is the back. And as you can see, I decorated all four just like that on the back. Now, we're going to go inside. We don't have the tab, but that's all right. We've got these cute little tags inside. You see that I folded all of this forward, so I'd have the pretty side inside. And then I just got solid pink to mat these pockets with and glued them down. And you can see I got the size right the second time around. And then I just punched the holes after it was glued. And then I came back and just thinned down my tags a little bit. And then covered them, instead of with ribbon and fibers, I put a little flower right here. Put it right there. Did it with 4 of them. Or you could cut your own rectangle shapes and put in here and do a decorative corner on them. It's your choice, okay? You can decorate these down here if you want, but I felt like with this particular paper, it'd be too busy. Okay, so there is the one I created, and I like it much better. I'm going to say it. You may not, but, I mean, it's cool. The other one is cool. I agree. It is way cool, but it's just really bulky. And the way I did the ribbon, it's also, you know, you got to hold it down to tie it and so forth. And I'll get that all tied when I use it in the book. Okay? So let me set that aside. Now this is the one we are going to use. And the pocket one is this one. This is the one we're going to use in our book for the double pocket. And we're going to use both of these in our book. Let's take the vellum out and see how we're doing. Great. It worked. Nothing's glued together. Just what I wanted. So these are probably the only ones that you're going to have any big questions on how to make. Although we are going to make some other stuff. So let's get busy. We don't want to waste any time. We get the things made, then we can do the next video. We can put the other stuff together. I mean, in the book. All right, so I don't know who makes these, but I thought these little women pockets, they're like coin pockets. I went ahead and inked them. Were so cute. I've got to find I had some ribbon or lace. Right here's the ribbon and lace. So I just folded paper to journal on the inside and added a little bit of trim because it goes down so far. See? So that's what I did to both of the insides. But first thing we need to do is we got to glue these. And they come like this. And I'm thinking this is antique paperia or my porch prints, if I had to guess. I don't know. I have this big stack of digitals. If the designers would just put their name on everything, it would help the creators to be able to know what to refer people to. I'm lucky to keep up with myself. I can't keep up with all the names. And I know you've heard this from other people, because I've heard it from them. So I'm going to take my glue. I inked everything first. I'm going to take my glue and glue this closed. Okay, on the bottom. And then I'm going to glue the left one in first, because it actually has a place for us to add glue also. See right there. And so then you want to add your glue here. Just stay inside the glue line and you'll do good. Fold this over, and remember that you got to seal it across the bottom as well as up the back. Now, if you're concerned that it's not going to stay close, just get a couple quilting clips. That's what I use, is these quilting clips, or binder clips, or paper clips, or whatever you have. And just do it up like that to hold it shut. And while this is being held shut, we'll glue the other one. And I would probably go ahead and do it right here too. We'll do the other one and get it ready before we put lace on them. Look how cute she is. Looking in the mirror saying, look how beautiful I am. I'm a princess and today I'm beautiful. So I'm putting the glue here first. And then I'm going to pull in the side that has to have glue again. Kind of hold this down right here. Bring it in. Just use the same thing. Get the clips going. If I can get my hand into the jar to get them out, that would help, right? These on there backwards. I like to glue these down. I do this putting them in the pages too, because I don't want to go back and find stuff not glued down. That's not cool. And if I were, I would be afraid I'd send it off that way and then have problems. So since we got the blue, or the blue and pink, or the teal and pink, however you want to say it, we're going to add some of the actual trim in the same color. Now, I'm going to put the lid on this one, because this one will dry up so fast. And we've got our Fabri-Tac in this little container. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take this off. I think it's on the top. We'll start there. And I'm just going to do, I'm going to put the pink on here. And so I'm going to see how tall it is and put a little bit on each end to hold the ends down. And then I'm just going to go straight across to hold my trim. Make sure your right side is up. And let me find my scissors. I want to trim off anything that's furry or gravelly or whatever. And you want to hold it on one end, pull it straight, and make sure you line it up straight and that both ends are all the way over so that nobody goes uncovered. And it's going to cover up a little bit of her head. It's not a big deal. Now we're going to take these off. Get your other piece of pink, or you could go with one. I just chose to do two because why not make it frilly? It's more like a shabby chic kind of thing going on here. And we're going to do the same thing. Now, you can turn your lace both directions. I'm going to turn this one upside down. You'll see what I mean if I can get my glue going. Now, if you want your ribbon to, or your lace to go like this, that's fine. But I just thought, why not be different? And let's do it upside down, right? Can't tell which one's which half the time. Let's just do it different. And so that's what I did with this one. Didn't that turn out cute? And it was so simple. I mean, if you wanted to add more, you could. But I think it's pretty busy as it is. Just want to make sure it's straight here on the bottom. And trim off any excess hanging over by flipping over your coin pocket. Now, you can, of course, use this as a coin pocket or just to put a journaling card or whatever. But I felt it didn't come with anything. I felt like it would do better as having paper inside. You can alternate the color, or you can keep it the color that matches, which is what I'm going to do. And here we go. Isn't that cute how it turned out? Now that's ready to go in the book as well. Let's finish the blue one. We're going to do the very same thing. Take the clips off, and we're going to take the trim. This is some very old vintage trim I have. You can tell by just how thin it is, and you know, it's just old. I'm going to do the same thing across here. We're going to put a line. It's not as wide as it is as the other one, so it's not going to take as much. Okay, make sure you have the right side out. And we'll line them up the same way. Straight across. Make sure you don't have any showing across the top. It's not a big deal if you do. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing at the bottom again. Some people don't like the foo-foo. If you don't like it, don't put it on. It's your journal. Okay. I bounce back on that, so I get it. So after this, I think we've got all the big stuff put together. Oh no, we got a couple more. And when we're done with those, we will move on to putting the lace in the book. So it can be dry for the next time when we decorate. Now we've got this hanging over, so I want to trim that off. You want to always wipe your scissors off. These are my old sewing scissors because I got new ones at Christmas from my sister. And so they were kind of getting dull, and I decided, you know, so I just go over them with a... These are some old wipies that are just about worn out. So, folded some. There we go. So we have two, pink and blue, and I think they're both just gorgeous. Okay, now, I'm setting those to the side. One more thing I want us to try making, and I'm sure you've all tried this at some point. I don't know who it first came from, so that's a good question. I just do not know. I'm going to glue a lot of things on tags, and so that's not a big deal. That's not something you haven't seen a million times. But this is, you take a paper bag, and you want to ink it, whatever color you're working with. You can use glassine bags. You can use whatever. I hope you guys have had a good week. I've had a busy week. You know, we had finished our guest bathroom. Now we're working on my husband and I's bathroom. And it needs a new shower. And it's getting a new countertop on the vanity. We're going to do black granite on there with the white sink. Maybe a vessel sink. And then I can't decide yet on that. So you want to ink this all up. But now what you got to remember is this is a sack, not an envelope. Okay, it can be a floating sack or you can glue it either way. Whenever it comes to how you want the final result to be. I took my journaling card and obviously didn't ink it. I thought I had it all inked. And you want to match it to the size of the bag the best you can. And I'll show you why. Now, if it's slightly smaller, it's not that big a deal, or slightly bigger. So you're going to take the open end. This is actually a coin pocket on this particular one. This is a bag, okay? You could do it with both. You could do it with anything that you have that's the right shape. So we're going to line this up right here. And if I bring it down to the bottom, you know, it's still going to fit fine. And you just have a little bit showing on the right and left. You're not going to glue this down, okay? But you're going to add glue here and glue that down, okay? There's lots of ways you can do this. I can't remember who I saw making these. I've kind of accumulated a lot of things. I just haven't had a chance to make for my idea basket. I don't put it in a book, but I put it in a basket. It's just easier for me to go through when it's time. Okay, so you're just going to line it up so it's even on both sides and straight where it's not uneven on the bottom, and then just pull this forward and then glue it down. Now what's going to happen is when you open it, it's going to open from here. Now you want to make sure there's not any leftover glue here on the inside, because this is where your pocket is going to be, right here. I suggest you don't have to do this, but you can punch a little hole right here, like a little half moon. I wouldn't do a gigantic one, but just a little. Well, that was so small, you don't even know it's there. Let's try that again. Just kind of line it up. There you go. Now you want to ink in there so that people can see that there's a place to put stuff. So you can journal on the back of your journaling card, plus you can add another journaling card inside or whatever. Now, I did not make anything at this point to put inside, but I'm going to use these are Rachel's tags, some of her tags. And we're just going to ink it up over at Roxy Creations. These are her Easter tags, but some of them had beautiful florals. And I just, when I was through using them, I just thought, well, I'm going to enjoy them in this kit because they can go in here just as easy. So you can take this and put it in here. I wouldn't put a topper on it because it's for obvious reasons. You can add a pocket right here, add another tag, which I think is a good idea. So let's see what we've got. I may not have anything left to put I'm not kidding you. I have used up a lot. Oh, well, here's some of those little spools, you know. So we'll just take these and let these be like a pocket. This has blue and purple. So I think I'll go ahead and just add this purple one. And they have tags on them. Look at this one with the strings. I just think it's adorable. Now this has to be inked. And we can use these little spools or bones or whatever you want to call them to glue down here and make like a pocket. And I'll show you how I would glue it. I would glue it. I wouldn't put anything on the top one. I would start right here on the second oval shape on the sides, go across the bottom and across the second one. And I got a little crazy with the glue right there. Now you can go up a little bit, but not too much. You want to make sure that your object can fit into your little bone or your little spool. There we go. It's hanging off just a tiny bit, but if it's a problem, you can trim it. And now you're just doing the sides. Now, when this dries, you can come back in with one of the tea cards that came in the kit. And there's some really cute embroidered flowers and different things that came in the kit. So let's try putting something, see if I got anything purple or in the family of purple. I think I saw something through here. There's several of them. Okay, there's one. Let me put some ink on there. Yeah, and it's a lot. And it's okay if it looks good. You know what I'm saying? You just don't want to use just anything. Or if you don't want to use this, you could use, there's a couple. There's not very many, but there's a few little tags that come in the kit like these. So we can do both. We can put some of both in there. How about this little lavender? More of a lavender. I'm glad those two colors look good together. Now again, this can be a floating pocket. It can be whatever. You can journal right here. You can add a prompt right here. And then you've got your little bag to pocket. Now, I've got a gnat in here. I'm sorry if it's annoying you like it is me. But you can also take lace and put across here, which I might. I haven't decided yet. So there'll be a couple of these in the journal. So on this one, I want you to see how it goes, how it works with a, let me see how much time we've got. We don't have time. And my battery's about to go. We're at 59 minutes. Since we've made 2 of these, we'll just leave this one, and I'll see you in the next video where we will continue on with our embroidery slow stitch book. And I hope you've had fun today. If so, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it so much. If you haven't subscribed, I need you guys to just subscribe for me. That will help my channel, and it encourages me and encourages others to know that we have a lot going on here at this channel. Thank you to all my subscribers. Welcome to any new ones, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll do part 2 of decorating. the embroidery journal. See you next time, guys. Love you. Bye-bye.